is a presentation of GGP.
I, William Jefferson Clinton, do solemnly swear.
Walls collapsed, furniture's down, it's a mess downstairs.
Americans can no longer wait for health care reform.
We never dreamed that this could happen.
I approved the plan and I'm responsible for it.
This is a disgusting war crime.
I've achieved a lot in that short amount of time.
Welcome to Jurassic Park.
I'm Chuck Scarborough. Welcome to A Year in Review, The Images of '93. A look back at the people and events that captured our attention and changed our world. The year began with the changing of the guard in Washington. The torch was passed to a new administration and a new generation.
I, William Jefferson Clinton, do solemnly swear.
After 12 years, the Democrats were back in power.
We have changed the guard, and now each in our own way, and with God's help, we must answer the call.
Evoking the memory of John F. Kennedy, Bill Clinton and the nation celebrated. When the party was over, President Bill Clinton rolled up his sleeves and went to work here at the White House. On the campaign trail, candidate Clinton said his top priorities would be the economy and health care. But in a move that surprised Republicans and Democrats, his first order of business was lifting the ban on gays in the military. The debate ended with a don't ask, don't tell compromise. The new president also had problems rounding out his cabinet. It would be a rocky first 100 days.
Crowds of people cheer me and tell me to hang in there.
Thanks to Nannygate, neither Zoe Baird nor Kimball Wood would become Attorney General. And then Clinton turned to a little-known Florida prosecutor.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Janet Reno would become the star of the new administration, despite what happened in Waco, Texas, at the Branch Davidian compound.
He choreographed his own death and the deaths of most of his followers.
Over 70 people died when federal agents stormed the compound where cult leader David Koresh and his followers barricaded themselves during a 51-day standoff.
The buck stops with me, and nobody ever accused me of running from a decision that I made based on the best information that I had.
In the aftermath of Waco, President Clinton tried to refocus the spotlight on the issue that got him elected, the economy. After hard bargaining, the House approved Clinton's budget and a massive tax hike by a one-vote margin. In the Senate, Vice President Gore had to cast the tie-breaking vote.
Senate being equally divided, the Vice President votes yes.
But even victories were tempered by bad press.
David Gergen is a Republican.
David Gergen, who served 3 Republican presidents, replaced George Stephanopoulos.
Americans can no longer wait for health care reform.
First Lady Hillary Rodham Clinton emerged as a power broker, spearheading the drive for health care reform. The First Lady had a tough sell on Capitol Hill, and won praise even from Republican critics. After public hearings and controversial closed-door sessions, her task force on health care reform unveiled a controversial plan to guarantee medical care for all Americans. The Clintons endured personal tragedy in 1993. Hillary's father, Hugh Rodham, died of a stroke. Then the administration was stunned by the suicide of Clinton childhood friend and presidential counsel Vincent Foster.
He's one of the ablest and best people I ever knew in my life.
Foster's suicide came on the heels of Travelgate, a scandal involving patronage of the White House Travel Office. If this was a low point, the tide changed with NAFTA, the North American Free Trade Agreement.
It's a good deal, and we ought to take it.
I didn't interrupt you. Okay, now, guys.
Like the budget vote, NAFTA went down to the wire, with Congress just barely lifting tariffs on trade with Mexico and Canada.
On this vote, the yeas are 234, the nays are 200, and the bill is passed.
You're going to hear a giant sucking sound of...
In '93, Ross Perot continued to be a political force and an object of political humor.
Now, can we talk about deficit?
Perot had plenty of company, as the Clintons got their share of political satire.
Let's go. Hey, come on, you two! Come on! Now, you stay out of this, Bill. I'm doing something you should have done a long time ago. Come on.
But voters weren't laughing in November when they went to the polls in off-year elections that ended with a Republican sweep.
That I was able to
Rudolph Giuliani ousted David Dinkins as mayor of New York. George Allen Jr. won the governorship of Virginia.
You've just sent a message.
And Christine Todd Whitman eked out a slim victory over Governor Jim Florio in New Jersey.
And into black churches, and we basically said to ministers who had endorsed Florio, we'd have a special project. And they said, we've already endorsed Florio. I said, that's fine. Don't get up on the Sunday pulpit and preach.
After this bombshell tape was released, Whitman's campaign strategist, Ed Rollins, was investigated for allegedly trying to suppress the black vote. Also under investigation, but for sexual harassment, Oregon Senator Bob Packwood. A big defeat for the gun lobby in '93, as the Brady Bill became law.
How sweet it was to go back in the Oval Office where I have not been for some time.
The Family Leave Bill was also signed into law, and the Supreme Court got a new justice, Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
I am indebted to so many.
As Justice Ginsburg was beginning her tenure, General Colin Powell was stepping down as chairman of the Joint Chiefs and heading into retirement with a $6 million book deal. It was a challenging first year for the Clinton administration. Official Washington had to cope literally with baptism by fire and flood. In 1993, nature went on a rampage. Wildfires fueled by Santa Ana winds roared through Southern California, reducing some of the most expensive real estate in the world to rubble.
This morning at daybreak at 7 o'clock, we looked around and all we saw was black, flat hills.
We never dreamed that this could happen. It was sort of sacred because it was so beautiful.
3 people died in the inferno. 200,000 acres were destroyed.
We've determined this fire to be an arson.
Explain to me how in the name of God anybody with decent human impulses could do this.
This is Malibu at year's end, and as you can see, the devastation from the fires is still an ugly scar along the Pacific coastline. It's impossible to put a price tag on the human suffering, but the property damage is approaching $1 billion from the fires and the mudslides that followed. In the Midwest, the worst flooding in half a century exacted a heavy toll, ravaging 8 states.
The last report we got, this might come up another 2 or 3 feet.
We had just moved over there this month, about the beginning of the month, and now it's gone.
48 people died. Over 12,000 homes were destroyed, and crops were ruined. On the East Coast, the blizzard of '93 unleashed its fury, claiming 238 lives. And there were 47 fatalities when a railroad bridge collapsed near Mobile, Alabama. A fiery Amtrak train plunged into the bayou.
I am okay, but I am afraid.
Some of the most haunting images of '93 were not the work of nature, but the work of terrorists. In New York City, the World Trade Center was hit by a terrorist bomb.
There was smoke, and then the lights went out, and I'd say about 70 floors we had no lights.
It was a heavy smoke condition, a couple of rooms were on fire, and just a tremendous amount of structural damage.
The terrorists may have hoped to topple the skyscraper, but most of the damage was underground, in a sub-basement garage. The explosion ripped open a crater 5 stories high, the size of a football field. As the new year begins, repair work continues on the garage. 10 months ago, this was a gaping crater. This is where terrorists left a rented van filled with a deadly cargo of explosives made from diesel fuel and fertilizer. More than 1,000 people were injured, some from the blast, others from smoke that billowed up through the towers. And 6 people were killed instantly. The FBI broke the case after tracing a scrap of metal from the van to a rental agency in Jersey City. Muslim fundamentalists linked to Sheikh Omar Abdel Rahman were arrested when one of them reported the van stolen and tried to get his $400 deposit back.
When he returned, agents and detectives were in the office.
The group is also charged in an aborted plot to blow up New York City bridges and tunnels. While terrorists were plotting acts of violence, diplomats were talking peace. And some of their negotiations brought the world a glimmer of hope. On the international front, Israel and the Palestinians took a bold step toward peace.
Today marks a shining moment of hope for the people of the Middle East and indeed of the entire world.
In September, an historic Mideast Accord was signed at a White House ceremony.
Enough of blood and tears. Enough!
The difficult decision we reached together was one that required great and exceptional courage.
The agreement, hammered out under a veil of secrecy, may not hold. There is passionate opposition on both sides. The accord gives the Palestinians self-rule in the Gaza Strip and in the West Bank town of Jericho. Some of the most haunting images of '93 come from Somalia. The world watched as an angry crowd dragged the body of a downed U.S. flyer through the streets of Mogadishu.
Somalia has become a deadly sand trap for American forces, and I say it's time to get out.
U.S. Rangers were pulled out, and POW Michael Durant is home for the holidays. So far, over 208 U.S. and UN peacekeepers have died, many in fierce ambushes as they searched for warlord General Mohammed Farah Aidid.
For what reason I have to surrender? I am not guilty.
And civilian casualties mounted in Bosnia. The world was repulsed by images of massacre, rape, and ethnic cleansing.
Child. Is that a child?
That's a child.
This is a disgusting war crime. I've spent 30 years in various conflict situations, and I have not seen anything like that which I have just seen in that house.
When UN-sponsored peace talks stalled, fighting between Muslim, Serb, and Croatian forces escalated. Thousands of new refugees fled Sarajevo, fearing mass starvation. Crisis erupted in the former Soviet Union when Russian President Boris Yeltsin dissolved parliament and called for new elections.
The Clinton administration supports President Yeltsin and his program for democratic reform.
Yeltsin has to get out. That's all. Either we win or we die, but if we die, at least it will be with honor.
A politically crippled Yeltsin returned to power, but his government was paralyzed, and long-awaited economic reforms derailed. In South Africa, bloody skirmishes marred the road to democracy. A new constitution paves the way for free elections next April.
Every political party which wants to take part in these elections has been given sufficient time, and those elections will take place.
A political standoff gripped Haiti as exiled leader Jean-Bertrand Aristide struggled to regain power. To force a showdown, the United Nations imposed severe economic sanctions, and UN envoy Dante Caputo shuttled back and forth to Port-au-Prince. But in Washington, President Clinton refused to play global cop. He would not commit American troops. Just one of the dramas played out on the world stage in 1993. Stay with us as A Year in Review, Images of '93 continues.
A Year in Review, Images of '93 is being brought to you by new non-drowsy Sudafed cold and cough liquid caps. No single prescription medicine can give more non-drowsy cold relief. And by Celestial Seasonings Herbal Tea. It has no caffeine, so have a celestial night.
This was my cold yesterday. Yuck. And then I saw something about
Sudafed cold and cough liquid caps.
It's new.
Not even a prescription medicine gives you more complete non-drowsy relief of cold symptoms.
Not even a prescription.
It relieves chest congestion, coughing, fever.
All of which I had. So I had to get some, which I did. Now I'm better, and now I'm out of here.
New Sudafed cold and cough liquid caps. No prescription gives you more complete non-drowsy relief.
It works.
You're gonna love this herbal tea from Celestial Seasonings. It tastes like a juicy mouthful of wild berries. Wild Berry Zinger. It'll tingle your tongue and tungle your ting. But it has no caffeine, so it's perfect for nighttime. It'll make your taste buds two-step, but your brain won't jitterbug, because it has no caffeine. Besides, this stuff will do your hair and take out the garbage. Just kidding. Celestial Seasonings Wild Berry Zinger. It has no caffeine, so it's a perfect way to end your day. Have a celestial night.
Images of '93 returns after these words from your local station.
Sorov's Carpet City always has the lowest prices on quality carpet, guaranteed. More than 700 full rolls in stock fill our showroom, where you can buy direct from the warehouse and save. We sell quality carpeting, and we always sell it for less. At Sorov's, you can see your carpeting today and have it installed tomorrow. Check out the best selection and lowest prices at Sorov's Carpet City. Located in the Warehouse District, 4 blocks north of the Allen Bradley Clock Tower on South 2nd Street, or call 271-2517.
This is my friend, a skier. Like thousands of other African-American children, he has a blood disease and needs a marrow transfusion. It's simple to help. You start by taking a free blood test. Please call the National Marrow Donor Program at 1-800-654-1247.
Only Wisconsin's largest North Point Ford can throw a sale of this magnitude. Now through January 3rd, it's North Point's gigantic year-end sell-down.
Welcome back to A Year in Review, Images of '93. I'm Chuck Scarborough. Here in Hollywood, box office receipts rebounded after a few bad years. 1993 breathed new life into America's dream factory. Jurassic Park topped the $330 million mark domestically. A bonanza that could make this the best year ever in box office history. This year, Hollywood's heroes never even set foot on the silver screen. Authors helped save studios from sinking ticket sales when their best-selling books turned into box office hits. And Michael Crichton's Dinosaurs lead the pack. His Rising Sun did well, but was eclipsed by John Grisham's gritty legal dramas, The Firm and The Pelican Brief, while Amy Tan's inspirational Joy Luck Club was in a league of its own.
My mother started the Joy Luck Club having met all these women in church. Their connection with each other had more to do with hope than joy or luck.
Many small screen favorites made it to the movies this year, too, including the Beverly Hillbillies.
Hey, Mr. Wilson!
Dennis the Menace, and The Fugitive.
Richard, do you want to get shot?
Even the creepy Crawley bunch returned in Addams Family Values.
It's an Addams.
And that's just the beginning of the sequels.
Hello.
It was the dog's turn to speak in Look Who's Talking Now.
How about you and me nosing through the garbage together?
Ugh, what cat dragged you in?
Wayne and Garth partied on in a sequel to their first hit movie.
You may want to call the fire department.
And RoboCop was resurrected yet again. As usual, action films brought in big bucks in '93 with hits like In the Line of Fire, Cliffhanger, and Carlito's Way.
A jury in Los Angeles has ordered actress Kim Basinger.
Some films saw more action off the screen than on. The producers of Boxing Helena won a nearly $9 million lawsuit against Kim Basinger. And while many tuned into the trial, virtually no one turned up at the theater. Also in the news, questions of morality over Robert Redford's indecent proposal to Demi Moore.
Suppose I were to offer you $1 million for one night with your wife.
And although producers cut the highway scene from the program, the death of two teens who tried the same stunt kept many away from that football film. As usual, some movies were just plain bad. Even big stars couldn't attract an audience. There was no magic in Bette Midler's Hocus Pocus. Madonna's Body of Evidence fell flat. And Sharon Stone should have known a sliver of a movie does not a whole film make. But it was Schwarzenegger's Last Action Hero that did the biggest belly flop.
Don't shoot!
There were also some surprising hits. Sleepless in Seattle, Tim Burton's Nightmare Before Christmas, the outrageous Mrs. Doubtfire, and the period piece, The Age of Innocence, from a most unlikely source, Martin Scorsese. There was a lot of crossover in 1993, television shows becoming movies. I've just been beamed down to the set of Star Trek: The Next Generation. They're going out of the TV business and into the movie business full time. But there's still plenty of big blockbusters on the small screen. In television, 1993 was the year of the late-night wars. Faced with more choices and armed with remote controls, viewers elevated channel surfing to an art form. In '93, the number of talk shows seemed to be matched by the number of network news magazines. The news magazines fought for guests and ratings. Dateline got into trouble when it took on General Motors.
This is the CBS Evening News.
At the network anchor desk, Dan Rather shared the spotlight with Connie Chung. As Connie Chung moved up, NBC veteran John Chancellor moved out, retiring after a distinguished career.
Respect for the law is what makes humans different from animals. There can be no civilization without law.
Also saying goodbye in '93, the sitcom Cheers. After bellying up to the bar for the last call, the regulars headed into syndication. And while Cheers was saying goodbye, Seinfeld was becoming the new cult favorite.
$100?
You're on.
Wait a second. Count me in on this.
You? Yeah. You'll be out before we get the check.
Too much violence and too much sex. That's what some said about the hit series NYPD Blue.
Is this the 100 you offered me in court today? Eat it! Eat it!
And no review of the year in television would be complete without infomercials. Besides infomercials, the networks were selling westerns, old-fashioned adventures. And the misadventures of real-life people made it big on tabloid TV, like the Michael Jackson scandal, a sour note that rocked the music world.
Go with it! Go with it!
Michael Jackson, accused of child abuse, cut short a world tour, went into hiding, and is being treated for addiction to painkillers. Pal Liz Taylor came to Jackson's defense, but Sister LaToya says Michael is guilty.
I love Michael very dearly, but I feel even more sorry for these children because they don't have a life anymore.
Jackson's next public appearance may be in court.
So will the real men get up? I know you're fed up, lady.
Rapper Tupac Shakur's latest booking was in a New York police station, accused of sexual assault.
Runaway train never going back. Wrong way on a one-way track.
Soul Asylum got some kids off the street with their video Runaway Train. 5 kids called home after seeing their photos. Joining Whitney Houston at the top of the pop chart, Snow's Informer. UB40's I Can't Help Falling in Love with You. And Mariah Carey's Hero.
If you reach into your soul.
Veteran rocker Paul McCartney was back on tour. So were baby boomer favorites Bette Midler and Billy Joel.
It's all about soul. I am just a poor boy.
And old friends Simon and Garfunkel reunited. Guess who's singing America's all-time #1 hit?
By the dawn's early light.
The Grateful Dead was the warm-up act for the Giants' season opener. Some new bands entered the alternative scene. Blind Melon, 4 Non-Blondes, and Stone Temple Pilots. Crossover act RuPaul proved that disco isn't dead.
Let me hear you say.
Rap group Tag Team turned a popular regional saying into a platinum single. And finally, the hottest saxophonist in America is keeping his day job. Just a few of the high notes on the music scene. Stay with us for more Images of '93.
The whole idea of saving for retirement is to get ahead. But if your IRA has annual fees and mutual fund sales charges, it can set you back from the start. To make all your money work for you, put it into a Schwab no annual fee IRA. You can choose from over 200 no-load mutual funds and pay no sales charges. And this performance guide is yours free when you open an account. So to make all your IRA money work for you,
maybe it's time to come to Schwab.
You think you love chocolate? Well, nobody loves chocolate as much as I do. And for the past 3 weeks, I have been indulging myself in that intensely deep, dark, decadent stuff. And you know what? I lost 8 pounds with 2 fabulous flavors on the Ultra Slim Fast plan. Rich chocolate fudge and creamy chocolate malt. Believe me, losing weight has never tasted so good.
Now buy one and get one free. Ultra Slim Fast. Give us a week. We'll take off the weight.
Images of '93 returns after these words from your local station.
Total wall-to-wall clearance at Sun Valley Waterbeds. New Year's Sunday, 10 hours only, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Our absolute guaranteed lowest prices of the year. Save up to 70% on all floor models, one-of-a-kind, discontinued, and slightly dinged merchandise. Our guaranteed lowest prices of the year. Plus, do not pay until July. Make no payments till July. Lowest prices of the year. New Year's Sunday, 10 hours only, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Only at Sun Valley Waterbeds.
Only Wisconsin's largest Ford dealer, North Point Ford, can throw a sale of this magnitude. Now through January 3rd, it's North Point's gigantic year-end sell-down. Nearly 200 new 93s are closeout price from $250 to $1,950 under invoice. New 93 Escorts and Rangers include 1/9 financing. Drive away in a new 93 Escort or Ranger, your choice, just $49.88. Plus, hundreds of cars and trucks include lodging for two at the Heidel House on Green Lake during North Point Ford's gigantic year-end sell-down.
Welcome back to A Year in Review, Images of 93. I'm Chuck Scarborough. Some of the most dramatic trials of the year were played out right here in Los Angeles. Criminals and victims seemed larger than life. Their stories gave us insights about the state of the nation.
Today, a measure of simple justice has been delivered to our community.
Guilty. A federal jury reached its verdict in the Rodney King retrial, convicting 2 of 4 white police officers in the videotape beating of King. Their acquittal in the first trial touched off the worst rioting in Los Angeles history.
Not guilty of the crime of attempted murder of Reginald Denny.
Jurors in the Reginald Denny case were not convinced by a video that showed an angry mob drag Denny from his truck and beat him.
I apologize to Mr. Denny for what he has suffered. He did not deserve it. He's a good man.
In Florida, gun-toting thugs went on a deadly spree of highway robbery, targeting 6 foreign tourists driving rental cars.
We got the bad guy's car, we got one of the bad guys, we got the bad guy's gun.
And near Tampa, Florida, a black tourist from New York City was the target of a hate crime.
Guilty of attempted murder in the first degree with a deadly weapon.
The victim, Christopher Wilson, was torched by 2 white men who are now serving life sentences. A wave of violence hit abortion clinics as a right-to-life extremist gunned down Pensacola Dr. David Gunn.
This is vigilante terrorism.
In Kansas, Dr. George Tiller was wounded in a similar ambush.
You never, ever, ever walk away with somebody you do not know.
In a grisly crime that shocked England and saddened the world, 2 10-year-old boys were convicted of kidnapping a toddler from a Liverpool shopping center, then brutally murdering 2-year-old James Bulger. In California, a distraught mother, Ellie Nessler, was convicted of gunning down the man accused of molesting her son. Jean Harris went to jail 12 years ago. 1993 marked the year she gained her freedom. Harris was convicted of killing her lover, Scarsdale diet doctor Herman Tarnauer.
I've never blamed it all on Chaim, and I've never blamed it all on myself. It was a combination of 2 people making mistakes, I think.
I cannot possibly say in words how sorry I am for the death of Officer Schroeder.
After 23 years on the run, anti-war radical Catherine Ann Powers surrendered, then pleaded guilty to a Boston bank heist that led to the death of a police officer.
We acquit the appellant on grounds of doubt.
In Israel, the Supreme Court threw out a controversial verdict against suspected war criminal John Demjanjuk.
I want to go home.
Demjanjuk returned home to the United States after the justices ruled there was reasonable doubt Demjanjuk was death camp guard Ivan the Terrible. And in Colombia, there was no trial for drug lord Pablo Escobar. The leader of the feared Medellin cartel was killed in a shootout with soldiers and police. In 1993, some of the most compelling trials did not involve career criminals. The key players were families in crisis, real-life dramas that tested the limits of the law.
We are Jessica's parents in her eyes.
The emotional tug-of-war over baby Jessica ended when she was taken from her adoptive parents, the De Beers, and returned to her birth parents, the Schmidts. But a different ruling for Kimberly Mays, the girl who was switched at birth.
I want their rights terminated, their parental rights terminated. I want them out of my life and my life back.
Kimberly Mays was allowed to stay with the family that raised her. So was Gregory Kingsley, even though an appeals judge ruled he was too young to legally divorce his birth mother.
I now reverse myself and beg for peace. If the Arabs in Israel can do it, we can.
In the most contested celebrity custody battle, Woody Allen lost in the wake of sex abuse charges that were eventually thrown out, and a much-publicized affair with Mia Farrow's adopted daughter, Soon-Yi. In another scandalous triangle, Amy, Joey, and Mary Jo continued to make headlines.
This man took me to expensive restaurants and cheap motels.
To this day, Your Honor, and I didn't hear it from Amy Fisher once, regret for what she did on her own.
Mary Jo Buttafuoco is standing by her man while he does 6 months in jail for statutory rape.
I just want to get on with my life and, you know, because I got a lot of healing to do. And
in one of the most sensational crimes of any year, 26-year-old John Wayne Bobbitt was acquitted of raping his wife. After the alleged attack, Lorena Bobbitt retaliated by cutting off his penis. Doctors surgically reattached it. Lorena Bobbitt is awaiting trial.
On August 20th, 1989, Lyle and Eric Menendez killed their parents.
It happened in posh Beverly Hills and reads like a screenplay.
Between the ages of 6 and 18, my client, Eric Menendez, was sexually molested by his father.
He raped me.
The nation was spellbound watching the defendant's graphic testimony. Coming up as the Images of 93 continues, the man they call Dr. Death, Jack Kevorkian, Charles and Di, Lonnie and Bert, and Daryl Hannah and JFK Jr. Stay with us.
Keeping up with these kids means keeping alert. So if you're suffering from sinus pain and pressure, you can't take a sinus medicine that can make you drowsy. Sudafed Sinus has a maximum strength pain reliever and the non-drowsy decongestant in Sudafed to relieve painful sinus symptoms fast, so you stay alert and ahead of the kids. Sudafed Sinus clears you up fast without slowing you down. And clear up your worst colds with Sudafed Severe Cold Formula.
Today, Michael White is having a lunch meeting in Indonesia without even leaving town.
This is your life.
Mary Kaplan is keeping things moving at her office, even though she's going nowhere fast.
This is your world.
With everything from local to long distance to cellular, it's easy to see why Sprint is the choice of millions who need to be there now.
Be there now. Life won't wait. Be there now.
If you've had problems with excess gas when you take a bulk fiber therapy, you should try Citracel. All other powdered bulk fibers contain psyllium, a fiber source that ferments in your system and may initially cause gas and bloating. Citracel is different. Citracel contains a unique fiber that's every bit as effective, but doesn't ferment, doesn't produce excess gas. Citracel, effective relief without the gas.
Images of 93 returns after these words from your local station.
Country Charm, a unique shopping experience you won't want to miss. Come in and see our wide selection of beautiful handcrafted country gifts and craft supplies. Country Charm also has classes in decorative painting and floral design. If you're an artisan, reserve your space now in our special craft section. Country Charm carries the latest in Disney characters, Precious Moments, and the original Joseph dolls. Right now, all Christmas cards are 40% off. Country Charm, a little bit of country with the taste of sunshine in the Old Grove Shopping Center, Milwaukee.
You've waited all year, and now it's finally here. Heiser's year-end grand finale. 7 days of incredible savings on 2,000 new and used cars and trucks at 4 great Heiser locations. Now through January 3rd, save a bundle on an amazing lineup of Fords, Lincolns, Mercury, Chevrolets, and Toyotas, and nearly 1,000 used cars and trucks. Plus, every new and used 93 includes lodging for 2 at the Heidel House on Green Lake. It's Heiser's grand finale. Now through January 3rd at all 4 Heiser dealerships.
I'm Chuck Scarborough. Welcome back to A Year in Review, the Images of 1993. It was a year of powerful images and powerful people. Some made us laugh, some made us cry, and some made us think. They were the people we watched in '93.
Are those breast implants?
No.
Really? Those are your own jugs?
He's the bad boy of radio.
You're not wearing panties, are you?
And now he's the bad boy of print. Shock jock Howard Stern offended his way to #1 on the bestseller list with his controversial book, Private Parts.
Heidi, are you going to name names?
That's the question that had the tabloids buzzing and some Hollywood bigwigs shaking in their boots. Heidi Fleiss is charged with 5 counts of pandering and 1 count of cocaine possession.
Not guilty to all charges.
Although Fleiss maintains her innocence, publishers and movie producers are bidding for book and movie rights. But Britain's most popular royal wants out of the spotlight.
I will be reducing the extent of the public life I've led so far.
Private life may be impossible if Charles and Diana divorce. It was Splitsville to some others. And for some couples, it was on again and off again. Some people burst onto the scene in '93. We'll hear more from them in the new year. But some familiar and beloved voices are silent.
Don't let the memorable images of 1993 pass you by. Order your own VHS copy of A Year in Review, The Images of 1993. Order yours now with this toll-free number, 1-800-848-7500. It's only $19.95 plus $3.95 shipping and handling.
This is Celestial Seasoning's absolutely delicious Ice Delight iced tea. It's knock your socks off easy. Just plunk the bags into cold water and it brews in your fridge in an hour or so. Ice Delight is so easy to make. Sometimes it gets up and makes itself. So don't boil water to brew iced tea, you might hurt yourself. Celestial Seasoning's Ice Delight has no caffeine and it brews in your fridge. And it's hard to hurt yourself on a fridge. Brew some up and have a celestial day.
This was my cold yesterday. Yuck. And then I saw something about...
Sudafed cold and cough liquid caps.
It's new.
Not even a prescription medicine gives you more complete non-drowsy relief of cold symptoms.
Not even a prescription.
It relieves chest congestion, coughing, fever.
All of which I had. So I had to get some, which I did. Now I'm better, and now I'm out of here.
New Sudafed cold and cough liquid caps. No prescription gives you more complete non-drowsy relief.
It works.
Total wall-to-wall clearance at Sun Valley Waterbed. New Year's Sunday, 10 hours only, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Our absolute guaranteed lowest prices of the year. Save up to 70% on all floor models, one-of-a-kind, discontinued, and slightly dinged merchandise. Our guaranteed lowest prices of the year. Plus, do not pay until July. Make no payments till July. Lowest prices of the year. New Year's Sunday, 10 hours only, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Only at Sun Valley Waterbeds.
To reach the truth of a story, you have to trust your instincts.
These stories are about real life.
Maureen O'Boyle and A Current Affair. No one gets us close.
Watch A Current Affair weeknights at 6:30 here on TV6.
Come to Conn's now for some ridiculously low clearance prices, like sport coats as little as $67, suits starting at $97. And don't pay a thing until spring. It's the January clearance sale only at Conn's.
Happy holidays from Mutual Savings Bank.
Welcome back to Images of 93. I'm Chuck Scarborough. On the medical front, there was progress and controversy. Some called it a breakthrough year. Others called it immoral. Did medicine and science go too far?
All we were trying to show is that these cells could develop for a few days in culture.
A fierce ethical debate put researchers at George Washington University at odds with critics after they successfully cloned human embryos.
I think that people are fearful not just of this experiment, but of much work that is happening in reproductive technology.
Another medical controversy involves sacrificing one Siamese twin for another. Amy Lakeberg died when doctors performed high-risk surgery to give Angela a chance to live.
The main thing here is that we tried to save our children, you know.
President Clinton sparked protests after easing abortion regulations. Mr. Clinton reversed bans on abortion counseling, fetal tissue research, the French abortion pill RU-486, and abortions in military hospitals. The worldwide death toll from AIDS continued to rise in 1993. In the United States alone, over 194,000 people have died of that disease, and an estimated 14 million worldwide are HIV positive. The news from the scientific community remained grim. World delegates gathered in Berlin to hear there are no new effective treatments.
People call him Dr. Death, but what he is an angel of mercy.
A Michigan judge showed no mercy when he ordered Dr. Jack Kevorkian to jail for refusing to post bail. Even after his release, Kevorkian still helped terminally ill people commit suicide. A tragic outbreak of food poisoning in the Northwest killed 3 children. Hundreds got sick after eating tainted meat tied to Jack-in-the-Box restaurants.
It is our view that secondhand tobacco smoke does have health consequences.
The EPA came down hard on the tobacco industry, concluding the passive smoking can cause lung cancer. Research in Texas on the origins of the universe was halted after the $11 billion Super Collider project was scrapped.
Well, I think it's bad for science in America in general. I think nobody is going to propose any big projects like this again.
The project was axed when legislators determined it was becoming too costly. And a costly mishap for the CIA. An unmanned Titan rocket carrying a spy satellite exploded over the Pacific. $1 billion lost in space.
Unfortunately, we still have no two-way communication or one-way communication or data of any kind from the spacecraft.
NASA is still in the dark over the whereabouts of the $1 billion Mars Observer. Just as it was to orbit Mars, it disappeared.
Alpha, Delta, Delta.
The year did end on a happy note for NASA. Astronauts successfully repaired the Hubble Space Telescope during a series of complicated spacewalks.
Here we are. Healthy, happy.
8 researchers emerged into the open air for the first time in 2 years. The biosphere experiment was marred by food and oxygen shortages. There were no shortages of investors in the stock market. The Dow Jones Industrial Average hit record highs, despite job losses and a flat economy. Historically low interest rates kept stocks climbing and pushed the Dow over 3,700. Shareholders of Paramount stock kept a careful eye on an ugly takeover fight.
It's almost another Hollywood title called Family Feud.
Just 8 days after Paramount announced it would sell to Viacom, QVC Network made a hostile takeover attempt. Bell Atlantic, TCI, and Liberty Media hooked up to form one of the largest mergers in communication history. The nation's oldest newspaper almost closed shop in '93. Abe Hirschfeld bought the bankrupt New York Post and fired the editor, along with 70 employees. In turn, the Post staff mutinied.
In the words of our immortal headline on Tuesday, who is this nut?
The flap ended in court when a judge allowed Rupert Murdoch to repurchase the newspaper. Another CEO making headlines, Lou Gerstner, tapped by IBM to take over Big Blue and keep it in the black. IBM is just one of the major corporations re-engineering in 1993. Kodak, General Motors, and Philip Morris all announced major layoffs, cutting jobs and changing the way they do business in a changing economy. And there were some big changes in the world of sports. Stay with us as a year in review, Images of 93 continues.
Man, when I get a cold, it's a killer cold.
I'm not taking a 4-hour pill like Actifed. The Sudafed, it wears off too quick. I take Contact. Man, I'm out there all day. Need something that works 12 hours, and Contact works 12 hours. It relieves the congestion in your head. You know, your ruddy nose. The 4-hour medication, take it in the morning, get to work, it's gone. Take a Contact and it'll take you through the whole day.
One Contact gives you 12 hours of time-released relief.
No work, no pay.
Contact helps turn sick days into work days.
You think you love chocolate? Well, nobody loves chocolate as much as I do. And for the past 3 weeks, I have been indulging myself in that intensely deep, dark, decadent stuff. And you know what? I lost 8 pounds with 2 fabulous flavors on the Ultra Slim Fast plan. Rich chocolate fudge and creamy chocolate malt. Believe me, losing weight has never tasted so good.
Now buy one and get one free. Ultra Slim Fast. Give us a week. We'll take off the weight.
Images of 93 return after these words from your local station.
Stop, shop, and buy, and you will be surprised. Stop, shop, and buy, yeah, you will be surprised. You'll save a lot of money and you'll save a lot of time when you
SRTV and Appliance has washers and dryers, names like Whirlpool, Frigidaire, Amana, and Speed Queen, all marked way down during Esser's laundry sale. Check out Amana's 5-year warranty on parts and labor. That's SRTV and Appliance, 2929 South 13th, Milwaukee.
You've waited all year, and now it's finally here. Heiser's year-end grand finale. 7 days of incredible savings on 2,000 new and used cars and trucks at 4 great Heiser locations.
Demonstrations, one-stop shopping, and new products. The TV6 Home Builders Expo 94 live sneak preview. Thursday night at 7, only on TV6.
Take it from me. Helmets are your best defense against serious head injury. All the pros wear them.
Brought to you by TV6 and the St. Francis Sports Medicine Performance Center.
I'm Chuck Scarborough. Welcome back to A Year in Review, Images of 93. So many of the year's most memorable moments in sports were played out right here on the hardwood. So join me now as I hop aboard our time machine, look back on the year in sports.
I just feel that I don't have anything else for myself to prove.
In October, basketball's favorite pitchman, Michael Jordan, made his final delivery. And incredibly, Michael decided to hang up his Air Jordan. His October surprise followed a season that combined both triumph and tumult. Initially, gambling allegations dogged the determined Jordan all the way to basketball's championship. And in July, Jordan's father, James, was found murdered in North Carolina. If it was the worst of times for Jordan, it was the best of times for his team. The Chicago Bulls three-peated, capturing their 3rd straight NBA championship.
I have 3 versions of a smile. The $1 million smile, the $2 million smile, and the $3 million smile.
And in 1993, Shaquille O'Neal had good reason. The 7'1" Shaq attacked, walking away with Rookie of the Year honors, leaving behind plenty of broken glass. And in 1993, a couple of championships emigrated north of the border. In hockey, Montreal's Canadiens froze out the great Gretzky and the LA Kings to win the Stanley Cup. And in baseball, Toronto's Blue Jays captured their 2nd consecutive championship by beating Philadelphia. Afterward, a blunt Blue Jay delivered a message to the mayor of Philadelphia.
You can kiss my
1993 was a landmark year for baseball. In April, 2 new franchises were born. And in Miami and Colorado, they built it, and the fans came. Rockies fans set attendance records a mile high. Many of those fans waved goodbye to 2 of baseball's best. 3,000 hitman George Brett and strikeout king Nolan Ryan both retired. Next stop for both will be the Hall of Fame. This summer, both football and baseball's Halls of Fame made room for their newest members. In football, Sweetness Walter Payton was honored. And at an August ceremony, Mr. October, Reggie Jackson, was near tears when he quoted another ex-Yankee.
Today I consider myself luckiest man on the face of the earth.
But others weren't so fortunate. In April, 2 members of the Cleveland Indians died in a boating accident. And in Germany, terror at a tennis match as a deranged fan stabbed superstar Monica Seles. Stunningly, the fan was released only 2 months later. And in November, a pathetic parachutist gave new meaning to the old boxing term, rope-a-dope. And finally, from terrible to the terrific.
Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
Dallas beat Buffalo in the highest-rated rout in Super Bowl history. That left Bills fans saying, "Welcome back." And we'll be back with more of A Year in Review, Images of '93, after this.
Don't let the memorable Images of 1993 pass you by. Order your own VHS copy of A Year in Review, The Images of 1993. Order yours now with this toll-free number, 1-800-848-7500. It's only $19.95 plus $3.95 shipping and handling.
Keeping up with these kids means keeping alert. So if you're suffering from sinus pain and pressure, you can't take a sinus medicine that can make you drowsy. Sudafed Sinus has a maximum strength pain reliever and the non-drowsy decongestant in Sudafed to relieve painful sinus symptoms fast, so you stay alert and ahead of the kids. Sudafed Sinus clears you up fast without slowing you down. And clear up your worst colds with Sudafed Severe Cold Formula.
Leaving your job means deciding where to put your retirement distribution. Rolling it into an IRA is smart, but paying annual fees and mutual fund sales charges at the start can set you back. To put all your money to work, roll it into a Schwab no annual fee IRA. You can choose from over 200 mutual funds and pay no sales charges. And this performance guide is yours free when you open an account. So to make all your rollover money work for you,
maybe it's time to come to Schwab.
Images of '93 return after these words from your local station.
Shop Gordon Furniture's Winter Getaway Sale now. Make a purchase of just $599 or more and receive round-trip airfare for two. Choose from Gordon's outstanding selection of quality sale price furniture and receive airfare for two to destinations like Jamaica, Hawaii, and the Bahamas. There's a world of great values during Gordon's Winter Getaway Sale, and get 2 tickets to fly away.
Gordon.
Where quality furniture costs less. 67th and Forest Home.
Sometimes when you have children, it tends to make the relationship sway away.
It's just the two of you, together, alone, in a Sybaris pool suite.
It gives you a vacation without leaving anywhere.
Sybaris Whirlpool Suite start at just $95. Call 1-800-394-POOL for your free brochure. That's 1-800-394-POOL, your tropical getaway.
Ooh, put it back on the romantic track.
Only Wisconsin's largest Ford dealer, North Point Ford, can throw a sale of this magnitude. Now through January 3rd, it's North Point's gigantic year-end sell-down. Nearly 200 new 93s are closeout priced from $250 to $1,950 under invoice. New 93 Escorts and Rangers include 1/9 financing. Drive away in a new 93 Escort or Ranger, your choice, just $49.88. Plus, hundreds of cars and trucks include lodging for two at the Heidel House on Green Lake during North Point Ford's gigantic year-end sell-down.
Provided by Kerry Limousine, who offers chauffeur-driven limousines and sedans. For information and reservations around the world, call 1-800-336-4646.
You know, sometimes it's not the headline events that define an age. Sometimes little things put it all in perspective and tell us something about who we are. in years to come, we may not remember these trends and fads, but in 1993, we did remember significant anniversaries, historic milestones. It was 5 years ago. The world mourned the victims of Pan Am Flight 103, killed by a terrorist bomb. 10 years ago, U.S. Marines died in an attack on their barracks in Beirut. 15 years ago, Jim Jones and his followers committed mass suicide in Guyana. And 20 years ago, the Yom Kippur War broke out in the Mideast. 25 years ago, in 1968, the Tet Offensive in Vietnam led Lyndon Johnson to drop his re-election bid. Martin Luther King Jr. and Robert F. Kennedy were assassinated. Violence erupted at the Democratic Convention, and Richard Nixon was elected president. This marks the somber 30th anniversary of an event that scarred the nation, the assassination of President John F. Kennedy. It was also in 1963 that Martin Luther King delivered his I Have a Dream speech. 40 years ago, convicted spies Julius and Ethel Rosenberg were executed, and Russian dictator Joseph Stalin died. 45 years ago, Israel became a nation, and Harry Truman upset Thomas Dewey. 60 years ago, Franklin Delano Roosevelt was sworn in. The same year, Adolf Hitler rose to power. And looking back 90 years to 1903, the Wright brothers took flight at Kitty Hawk and changed the world. Like the first flight at Kitty Hawk, there were defining moments in 1993, images that changed the world. Some of the stories continue, their final chapters unwritten. Healthcare, Bosnia, the search for peace. Whatever happens, may 1994 be your best year yet. Thank you for watching. I'm Chuck Scarborough. Happy New Year.
A Year in Review, Images of 93, has been brought to you by new non-drowsy Sudafed cold and cough liquid caps. No single prescription medicine can give more non-drowsy cold relief.
An international business class ticket, an international business class seat. So what's the difference? Continental's Business First. For the price of business class, you can enjoy the comfort of a sleeper seat and the service of first class. That's the difference.
Accommodations provided by Hilton. The next time you travel, come to Hilton. We'll turn your business trip into a real pleasure. Hilton, so nice to come home to.
This has been a presentation of GGP.
Total wall-to-wall clearance at Sun Valley Waterbeds. New Year's Sunday, 10 hours only, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Our absolute guaranteed lowest prices of the year. Save up to 70% on all floor models, one-of-a-kind, discontinued, and slightly dinged merchandise. Our guaranteed lowest prices of the year. Plus, do not pay until July. Make no payments till July. Lowest prices of the year. New Year's Sunday, 10 hours only, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Only at Sun Valley Waterbeds.
In football, it's not whether you win or lose, it's how you watch the game. Order a 2, 4, 6, or 8-foot Cousins party sub for your next playoff bash. Cousins, better bread, better subs.
Only Wisconsin's largest North Point Ford can throw a sale of this magnitude. Now through January 3rd, it's North Point's gigantic year-end sell-down.
When it's cold, we're hot. Winterfest, December 17th through January 30th.
This is the Gendlin & Safran Packer Injury Update. Today at noon, the Packers meet the Detroit Lions at the Silverdome. For the Packers, tight end Jackie Harris is out. For the Lions, safety Benny Blades is out, running back Derek Moore, nose tackle Lawrence Pete, and running back Barry Sanders are doubtful. This has been the Gendlin & Safran Packer Injury Update. Gendlin & Safran, Milwaukee's tough, smart lawyers.
Everything's coming up roses tonight on Talking Sports After MASH.
Hello, everyone, and Happy New Year to you. I'm Greg Gumbel.
Happy New Year, everyone. I'm Terry Bradshaw.
Welcome to the final Sunday of the regular season here on the NFL Today. By day's end, all the divisional titles and wild cards will be determined. Let's quickly recap what we have thus far. All 6 NFC spots are filled. The Cowboys and the Giants battle for the NFC East title today, while the Lions and the Packers will play for the NFC Central. The 49ers are the NFC West champions. They will enjoy a first-round bye. On Friday, Minnesota rang out the old year by earning an NFC wild card, defeating the Washington Redskins. Minnesota ended the regular season with 3 straight wins. First time that's happened for them since 1974. Next weekend, they face the loser of today's Cowboys-Giants game. Now, the winner of today's Dallas-New York game will earn 3 coveted prizes: the NFC East Championship, a first-round bye, and home field advantage throughout the NFC playoffs. Now, with half an hour to kick off over at the Meadowlands, Phil Simms is warming up for the Giants. Since losing to Dallas in Week 10, Simms has led the Giants to victories in 6 of their last 7 games. John Madden joins us now. And John, in addition to the home field advantage, in addition to the divisional championship, what else is at stake in this game?
Yeah, I think this game is about as big as you can get. And I know that, that's what the players are thinking.